What's up, you flippin' fantastic Phoenix folks? That's worse. They're getting worse by the day. So in the last 3 months on eBay, I've sold 264 items for a total of $11,137 in gross sales. And honestly, that's a bit of a dip from my winter and spring numbers. It's not because of summer slowdown or anything like that. I've honestly just been putting less into my eBay store. Video game arbitrage has been so hot at video game stores and pawn shops and online that, to be honest, I've kind of neglected my eBay store, so I figured the least that I could do is make a nice little YouTube video about it. And also some people have been asking for what the heck I've been doing on my eBay store, so I wanted to bring you guys in on some of the most profitable items from this summer. And I think there are definitely some decent bolos as well on this list, which I hope will help you guys out. So starting off here, number one is this Nintendo Switch tablet in parts only broken condition. Now, I bought this system in broken condition for $70, ended up selling the tablet for $140 with free shipping, which on its own is not the best margin. But the thing is, I got the rest of the normal console with this tablet as well, so I got a working set of Joy-Cons and also a dock setup. That dock setup sold on Amazon for $100 and the Joy-Con sold for in the neighborhood of 70 bucks. So on the whole, this was a very profitable deal, and just wanted to bring you guys in on that one because especially with more recent systems and especially with Nintendo Switch, even if it is in broken condition, it can still bring some decent money. Next on the list here is this 1991 Case XX Burnt Stag Knife. It had the original sheath and box and everything with it, and it ended up selling for $137.90 with free shipping. I had it originally listed, you can see there, for $197. My general strategy with items, either that I don't know a lot about, or in this case, I didn't know a lot about it and it also didn't have a whole lot of comps. My strategy is just to price high, turn best offer on, and sit on it for a while. This item happened to go on a 30% off sale since it had been listed for like over 6 months, I think, and somebody paid full discounted price. I didn't have to use the best offer function at $137. This is an item similar to some other ones on this list that I actually got from sourcing my grandma's attic, so my buy cost on this was $0, which makes the profit margin really excellent. So next up, not the highest dollar item here, Looney Tunes Sheep Raider. I've actually never even heard of this game before. This is a game that I got for $1 at Goodwill at the very beginning of the Nintendo Switch Challenge series. Ended up selling for $28 with free shipping. Whoa, what do you think of that, Elsie? $29, that's pretty good, huh? She agrees. All right, so number 4 here. This is honestly one of the best ones on this list. This is a Skylanders Imaginator. You can tell that a Skylander is an Imaginator by the diamond-shaped base, so definitely keep an eye out for that as you are out at the sales or the thrift stores or whatever. Those ones do tend to be worth more. Look them up individually. There's a number on the bottom, but that's a good sign that it's one that may have some value, and this one definitely had a lot of value. $118 for Sensei Wildstorm. Apparently it's one of the rarest Skylanders you can find, and I bought it in a box of like 50 of them for $25. So I had about 50 cents into this guy and was stoked, absolutely thrilled when I looked up the value on it and got this within like just a few days of listing. So this next item is a little bit different here. This is a Barclay Bible Study Series, an 18 volume set plus an appendix also. I saw comps on this without the appendix. We're going for in the neighborhood of 90 or so. I paid $30 for this lot, bought it from a personal friend who is a professor and was clearing out some of his collection. I didn't think that it would go for quite this much, but I listed it high because there weren't any current listings, and it did sell for $130 with free shipping. When you're shipping a lot of books, a set like this, you can send it medium mail and it is way cheaper, even though it's a pretty heavy box. So that's why I threw free shipping on this, and I do think it helped it sell pretty fast. This was gone within like a week. All right, next item. So this is a Microsoft wireless network adapter that you could plug into the back of your 360. And this item actually caught my eye because a viewer alerted me to it when he saw it on the back of a 360 system that I picked up. Turns out it was worth more than the system itself because it was this old crappy model with a bad hard drive. Sold this for $33 with free shipping. And actually a couple weeks later, I ended up finding like 8 of these things. at a video game store on clearance for 99 cents a piece. They sold super well on Amazon, so keep an eye out for these little, they're about this big, wireless network adapters for the Xbox 360. They sell pretty well. All right, this next item here was some heat. This was a sweet item. I was tempted to keep it. It just didn't quite fit me right. A dead stock Chicago Bulls chalk line large men's vintage Windbreaker jacket. This thing was absolutely incredible. And most incredibly, I also found this in my grandma's attic. So thanks again, Grandma, for this jacket. It did take a little bit to sell. I had it initially listed, I think, at like $270 or something, because I sold a Lakers one a while back in this condition, chalk line and everything, for close to $300. Listed this one similarly, sat on it for a while, gradually lowered the price until finally ended up at $170, and somebody did buy it. I do love Chalkline as a vintage brand, whether it's like jackets or shirts or hats, so keep an eye out for that. And it really goes without saying, anything that is vintage, new with tags, is at least worth looking up, almost always worth picking up as well, because people eat that stuff up. And at a $0 buy cost, this was maybe my best flip of the whole summer. So this is kind of an interesting one. A 21 game lot of PSP games. These I got in a really large trade that I did for a Switch Lite. None of them were worth selling individually on Amazon, which is normally where I sell games. There were enough of them here that I thought I could make a pretty decent lot of them and perhaps get more than I would get doing what I normally do, which is just using them as trade-in at a video game store. They probably, I would guess, would maybe give me $1 a piece for these. I'd honestly be interested to know at this point what they would be able to give. But these 21 games brought $55 with free shipping. I don't really know why I threw free shipping on here. Maybe it was just trying to make the listing look a little bit more attractive. It wasn't gonna be all that heavy. But yeah, I was happy with this sale and wanted to show it as an alternative for sending your dud games just into like Game Exchange or a local video game store or whatever. If you can make big lots like this, oftentimes they can do pretty well. All right, this is another big bolo game that most of you guys probably know, but I wanted to put it in here because I sold like 3 of them this summer and their prices are especially spiked right now. Pokemon Emerald version, if it is authentic, and I would recommend looking up some guidelines on how to tell if it's authentic, sold for $85 with free shipping, and I sold multiple at that price point that were in nice condition, even though they had dry save batteries. So that's one thing that I definitely would check if you guys encounter these. But Emerald version is like a secondary game. It's sort of like, it's not a sequel, but it's almost a version 2 to Ruby and Sapphire version. It's the one that pretty much anyone, if they want to play that generation of game, will go for, similar to like a Platinum version or Crystal version. Those are other good titles as well. Since I did pick this one up in a lot, it's a little bit difficult to estimate the value, but I would guess I probably had around 20 bucks into it. All right, this next one is an item that I did not anticipate bringing as much money as it did. I got it in a bulk deal from a friend here in town. It was a really nice condition Game Boy Advance SP that also had like the box and inserts and charger and everything. Ended up going for $197 shipped. So after fees and everything, maybe like $160 or so. And that just goes to show the impact that condition can have on value. If this had been like just loose or scratched up or something like that, I'd expect it to bring closer to like the $100 range. But having that original box definitely enhanced it and made it more of a collector's item. I also just think it's so interesting to see like the original price stickers on stuff. That $80 price point makes me wish I had just gone to the store and bought a ton of them, kept them sealed, and, you know, sold them off in 2020 that way. So I've got 2 more items left here. What I would love to hear from you guys in this video is what has been your single best eBay flip of the summer of 2020. I love hearing those stories, and I would love to hear where you guys are having the most success on eBay. So this next item is a GameCube Game Boy game player. It's a little bit hard to tell from this top-down picture, but it's a unit that attaches to the bottom of a GameCube, and I see quite often attached to GameCubes at pawn shops and stuff like that. They usually won't charge any more for it. The biggest thing to look for is whether or not it has the Game Boy Player game inside of it, or maybe elsewhere in the shop, because that game combined with the player will go for like over $100, at least on Amazon. This particular unit though did not have the GBA Player game. It was just like the plastic attachment to the GameCube that came attached to a GameCube I bought for like 40 bucks. And as you can see, I ended up selling this on its own for 38 plus shipping. So I made most of my money back just by selling this, and then the GameCube was pretty much pure profit. Definitely an item to look out for that adds a lot of value if you find GameCube systems. And then last but not least, we have our final attic score. This is a 1992 Chicago Bulls Panorama. The reason that I put this on here was that I actually picked up like 8 or 9 of them, and I've sold about half already for in the mid 30s plus shipping. So again, when it comes to eBay, vintage sports stuff is absolute money. I just thought that this was kind of an interesting piece. There were absolutely no comps on it, but apparently other people found it interesting as well, and so I'm hoping to sell through the rest of the ones that I do have in stock fairly quickly. They're a huge pain to ship because I actually have to Frankenbox for every single one, put 2 like priority boxes together and tape them all shut. But at 30 bucks profit or so a piece, I'm completely fine doing that and taking a little bit of extra time. So those were my 12 most profitable eBay items of summer of 2020. I hope you guys found some value in that. If you did and would consider liking and subscribing, that would be excellent. And I'd also be curious what you guys think of this video format, if it's something that you do find value in, if you'd like me to do something similar for Amazon in the future. I really just am not sure whether I should do more of these videos, so if you liked it or didn't really like it, definitely let me know in the comments below so that I can kind of know whether or not to make more of them going forward. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and until next time, I will catch you on the flip.